It's fine though. This game reminds me of StarCraft. Yeah, you know, I would say yeah. I would say it's the ancestor, except StarCraft went a different road. Like it went a different way. Like I usually say, you have this old game like Command & Conquer, Dune, and Warcraft 2 had super big grid. In Warcraft 2 it's very pronounced because units only move from tile to tile. They only exist on the grid. They don't have collision boxes, for example. They don't have real positions and collisions. They just move on the grid and they are on the tile or they are not on it. And that is super clear that most of the RTS of the time, like Dune and Command & Conquer, had that kind of mechanics, but they could fit multiple units, like infantry, up to 5 infantry on one tile. And after that, they tried to basically make the grid disappear. So that was the goal for most developers after Warcraft 2. Even on Age of Empires, they tried to make the grid invisible to the player as much as possible. And so that's what they did with Age of Empires 1 and the later games. After that, they started to give random positions to units inside the tiles, and then they got rid of the tiles altogether and used collision boxes and real positions in modern RTS. In StarCraft, they still had the grid, but the way they hid the grid is by making it super small, and you have different size of grids in StarCraft for different units. And so the grid is less visible and it's less simple to play around. It's not like it's not a chess game, so to speak. You don't have like units pawns moving from tile to tile and every pawn has the same size, like in Warcraft 2. Like in Warcraft 2, ballistas, footmen, ogres, everything has exactly the same size because it occupies only one tile of the grid. In StarCraft, you can fit multiple zerglings in the space that the tank will occupy, for example. So it's very different from that perspective. And if you look at the grid, at the game and how it plays with the space, with that grid, you'll see that it's very different, because in Warcraft 2 you can count exactly how many units are going to be able to fit in a choke point, and you always play around that. You always play around placing your units in a line, counting how many units you're gonna have against how many units your enemy can fit in that space. You're counting how much tiles are exposed from your building. For example, now you can see it's 3 and 2, so it's 5 tiles exposed versus only 1 tile that can repair the farm. So you know that farm is the weak point of that whole wall, because basically you know at all time the enemy can use 5 units to attack it. You can repair it with 1, and so it's very easy and very fast for a player to count and play with that grid really literally. Whereas on an RTS that's more modern, you don't play as much with the grid, basically, because you don't. The grid is hidden from you and it's less in the way, right? So that's the reason why movement in Warcraft 2 can be very clunky. That's because your units are moving from one tile to the other, and when they are moving from one tile to the other, you have to wait for your unit to finish moving to that tile before it can do anything else. And that's the reason why a unit standing is going to attack first, but that's because the unit moving to the tile next to it is going to finish moving before it can attack or do anything else. And that makes the game very clunky in comparison to StarCraft. It makes the game not as much, you don't benefit as much of your speed because of it, because you have to plan ahead a lot more your fights, and it is not about microing your stuff as much, because the game is not as responsive as StarCraft, if that makes any sense. So where in StarCraft 1 you cannot play at a pro level if you can't have 400 APM, because basically you're gonna get completely sit on by anyone that can hit that kind of speed. In Warcraft 2, speed is not gonna help you as much. It's a game that really favors a lot more, I would say, it's not a game that favors speed as much. It's not a game that that you will benefit from being fast at. If that makes sense. You're gonna benefit from speed, but not as much, because it's punishing. Like if you can be very fast, but you can lose a game because a tile is a farm like this is not placed well, because your enemy planned on what you were doing, and because you can't, that speed is capped by the mechanic. So you're not gonna be like 200 APM on Warcraft 2 is like far more than what you need to play at a competitive level. If you look at pro players of War 2, even when the game was pretty hype, they don't reach speeds over 200, because first of all, you don't have many units in Warcraft. You play with 30 units at most. You can see these armies as quite small. You seem to see a lot of units, but this is just 9 units at most, like not even 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 units for purple, and that's the army you attack with. You very rarely see armies bigger than 7 to 9 units. You attack with small groups because the choke points make big armies bad. You don't want to have a huge army in there because only 3 units are going to fight at all time. That's why you play around choke points so much in War 2. In modes like BGH, you used to see more units being used. Like in BGH, for example, where there is no real obstacle to the fights, and it's not, basically custom games will have more units being used. But on normal gameplay, you probably won't see more armies bigger than 9 units. And there is no power spike that is so clear. Like, since the game is not about a rock, paper, scissors like StarCraft, since it's more about the space, because it doesn't have rock, paper, scissors, basically, it's not in the game, you don't see timings like, I'm gonna reach my, type of unit, this type of unit, and then I can attack. No, there's no... Like, you can be attacked at any time on Warcraft 2, and you can attack pretty much all the time. Like, almost all the time. If you're powering to lust, of course, there's like a timing to that tech, but there is no counter, so to speak. Like, there is no, like, he's doing that type of unit, so I'm doing that type to counter it. It's not. In Warcraft 2, that's not existing. Yeah, red is about to die here. Nighttime is a rip. Rip nighttime. He was completely overwhelmed. Funny enough, the weak point was not even the target here. He was just overwhelmed by he was tripled basically. There was 3 people on him, and in the likes of Paulo, Seuss, and Madluster. So many units. I mean, he was dead. Let's be fair, he was dead. Tried to power, but didn't have enough units there. As for Orange, Slow Mage, well, Slow Mage has troops, but he didn't help. Like, he's also powering a little bit, and he's gonna get attacked by a lot of ogres there. I don't think he survives. Yeah, he can't close. Doesn't have a peon close enough to close that. Okay, oh, he finished. He had just enough to survive, but that's gonna be pretty hard. Pretty hard to come back from that. See, when I say a knight, for example, occupies the same space as a footman, you can see how this is actually working. Like, it's just, even if the selection is bigger, you can see they are moving on the same grid, they are on the same tiles as footmans. So really the selection size doesn't matter. What matters is the size the tiles it occupies. You can see, like, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units here, and that doesn't matter what type of unit it is. Ogres occupy same space as footmen, and etc, etc. Same for catapults. Same for dragons, except dragons and battleships and air units, they move 2 tiles at a time, but they do occupy one tile as well. See that Zeppelin moves 2 tiles at a time, but it occupies only 1 tile. Which means there are tiles on the map that are never occupied by water and air units. That's a pretty big attack, but I mean there is a cannon tower on the side here, there is a quad tower here. Not sure he can... Oh, he almost got the racks there, that's sad. So Nighttime got killed, and now... I mean, Slowmage had a pretty good attack here, but... What did I say? Slowmage? No, not Slowmage. Kp2grdn got a pretty big attack. He almost got the racks there. Unfortunately, he couldn't get in. I don't think he can come back and finish it. Won't have the units to do it. Who's Purple? Purple is a little bit underwhelming. I think it could be Paulo. Yeah, it's Paulo. Paulo has rushed very hard, that's why. He killed basically Nighttime. So, oh, that's a lot of units. That is a hell of a lot of units. And I think Mad Blaster is actually run out of gold. Yeah, Mad Blaster is out of gold. He's gonna lose that rack, but then what? Oh, he shouldn't be in the range of the cannon tower here. He's getting... Yeah, this is the target. This is what you want to hit. And the reason this is the weak point here is that you can see how many units can attack it. You have 4 here, 3 here, if that knight was attacking it. And you only can repair it with 1 peon. So that's why it's a weak point. Here's a little bit more of a stale, so it's gonna take longer to kill that Rax because there's 4 peons repairing against 5 attacking right now, but it could be more. Now they can attack it with more units here. They should focus on the Rax actually. That's not pulling. 3 units against 4 to repair. You can see that that quad tower will never die. These 2 knights should be attacking the Rax here. This is the weak point. That knight should be attacking. Yeah, there we go. Attacking the Rax here is the correct play. Because you can kill it eventually. Oh, there's a cannon tower behind this. Here we go. Welcome, Link. From Zelda, I suppose. Where is your princess, Link? Alright. That said, pretty good defense. There was a if they have started attacking the Rax first. No princess here. All right. No princess here. That's sad. That's sad. Yeah, if they had started attacking the Rax first, the Rax would have fallen. But I think with the sap here, that's gonna be all that's needed. Except he didn't see the... Oh, he didn't see the ogre. And so that's gonna be it. Reap the sapper. Had to make a second decision. What people like to do when if you don't want that to happen to you when you have a sapper, always send a knight forward. Send a knight so that the knight takes the quad tower's shot, and then while the knight is alive, the dwarf won't die. The ogres do hit hard, yes, they do. They do hit very hard. Especially when they are lusted. A lusted ogre hits 3 times as hard as a normal knight. It's pretty sad to play against lust when you're humans, but they are doing a very good job at keeping these 2 people out of gold. So you can see Purple is basically out of gold now. Oh no, Purple is actually mining still. He has 13k, so he's gonna be out of gold soon. But Yellow is out of gold for a very long time already, and he has to have peons outside to try and mine. It's gonna be very tough for him to get some gold there. He needs it so bad though. If he gets the gold, they could win pretty big. Green is being attacked here by Slowmage. Slowmage has done such a good job that game. Although he has 2 lasted ogres in his gold flow here, he needs to deal with this. 3 knights for 1 lasted ogre will win. But problem is, for 2 lasted ogres, it probably won't work. Oh, it worked! It worked. Is this 2v2v2? No, it's actually 3v3. It is 3v3. You can see the teams are on the island panel here on the right. And that it's 3v3. Madlister is a very good player, and if he can get a hole here, that's gonna be game. And I think he might actually be able to. We'll see. Nighttime left. Nighttime got killed pretty early here. Wait, so he doesn't appear on my Allen's panel anymore. So Mage is trying to get some more troops out, but they need to stop this, and oh no, that's game. This is what they should have stopped. I think Madlister will win because of the fact that he's mining now, and I don't know if they're gonna have enough troops to stop that. They probably won't succeed. Especially since they are 2v3. No, it's 2v3. You can see orange and black are together. Orange and black, so you have the Alterac Alliance here, orange. You have Gilneas here in black. And they are facing the Twilight Hammer clan, the Horde Traitors, and green, the Bleeding Hollow. They are trying to stop the gold happening here, the gold mining here. You couldn't really see black on the map. Yeah, he's there. Black. That's actually why it's called the cheat color. It's because you can't see it on the minimap. Can you send? Can you just send an air unit to kill the workers who repair while your other units attack the building? Yeah, that is simpler than that. You use archers for that. So the reason you have archers in the game is because they are quick, they can follow your army around, they can stop repairs by hitting the peons, repairing buildings, they can defend a wall. If you have a wall of farms like that and you have an enemy army coming, you don't have a tower ready, you can make an archer. It's very quick to make an archer, and the archer will be able to chase away the units, or at least get some good value on that wall. So that's why you use archers. You use them to chase air as well sometimes, but it's pretty much their usual use, yeah, stopping the repairs. Griffins, you get them late game, and the Griffins are kind of an odd unit. It's a harassment unit, so you don't make many Griffins, you make like one or two, and you send them in peculiar locations to try and get some value out of them. If you can isolate a huge large group of units like that, of ogres that can't hit them, you're gonna have a Griffin and make him, you know, harass these units, kill them, and get some value like that from it. You can also stop mining, yes. You can stop mining with a Griffin. You usually don't really use the Griffins to stop the repairs because, well, if you have your army there already, your army is going to make short work of that in late game. What you would use is the DK. A Death Knight or a Blizzard, you know, a Mage can do a very good job at killing a tower here, for example. Death and Decay melts farms. It does 41% on average more damage to farms. It just melts them. So if you do a Death and Decay on that, you would kill a lot of farms, and you would kill the towers. So that's what you really use to break a wall apart. But you can see Lasted Ogres can hold their own pretty well, and there's only one peon repairing that farm. As you can see, there's only that diagonal side here that can repair the farm. And so that farm was about to fall. That's why he actually stopped repairing and started building the wall here to block if in case the units go through, and that knight is gonna fall. It's doing a very good job. That cannon tower actually had a pretty good value there. I think that's gonna be the end of orange and black. Both Slow Mage has done so well that game, but they lost nighttime very early, which is a little bit sad. And that wall is gonna be, yeah, orange is out. He can't mine anymore. I mean, technically he's still mining, but he has like 2 peons. And if you look at Madlister, who has Bloodlust, that's gonna be a problem here. I'm gonna have to ask Madlister next game to go humans, I suppose. Just to balance the fact that we have 2 players here that went humans, Kp2grdn and Slow Mage. They usually play humans. And without the lust, it's pretty hard to fight orcs, you know. Humans are used in Warcraft 2 as a handicap, pretty much, because you don't have Lust. And heal, the problem with heal is it wasn't balanced well, it doesn't heal. If heal actually healed 1 HP for 1 mana, that would be fair. Like, that would be much more fair. But it's not the case, so that's why it's not used. Because even in a choke point, you don't win with paladins. Whereas if it was healing 1 HP per 1 mana, you would win in a choke point. You would lose on open field against Lust, but you would win in a choke, which I think would be the perfect balance. It would make humans better in choke points defensively, but it would give orcs a great advantage when fighting on open field, which makes a lot of sense comparing when you look at the rest of the kits. And it's not really like the mechanics of heal is perfectly fine. Just like Lust, you just have to get a little bit used to it. That said, that is the death of Mr. Skullguldan. Skullguldan died there. Who was oh, that was Seuss. Seuss probably killed Nighttime here. Rip Guldan. Hello, mom. Hello, mom. And Slow Mage here is he's not looking too great. I mean, he's still alive, but he's just for the sake of being alive there. The only thing that could save a human player at that stage of the game is if he has like billion mages. Billion mages. It's pretty good stuff. This is the end. Yeah, Madluster is huge on that game. He's pretty huge. He managed to close this. He has more peons mining here. He finished that gold mine, but he's always mining somewhere, which is what you want to have, basically. Just a bunch of chubby boys, you know.
Yeah.
You did great, guys. You just lost Nighttime a little bit too early here.
No, we lost because of Lust.
Yeah, also, but I'm gonna ask Madluster for next game to play humans, so at least that we have like the same number of human players.
It was to know that they were gonna go for Lust when all three of them were orc.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. But the game was still fun. I mean, the comeback was there, you know.
I'm gonna make my last night.
The last night. What is gonna be his mission?
Hopefully to get out from the racks.
Yeah, but, oh no, he couldn't. It couldn't. He failed his last mission. He couldn't get out of the racks.
First and last.
His first and last mission. Oh well.
Well, he was gonna be a coward and just run away.